Hey y'all, welcome to Pleiadian Point of View. I'm Peyton with Peyton Energetics, and I'm a Pleiadian channel and starseed coach. So in today's video, the Pleiadians wanted to chat with us about what they see as one of the blind spots that we have in the spiritual community. So they're going to talk to us a little bit about one of the things that they notice we tend to get trapped in as lightworkers and starseeds. But before we jump into today's topic, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. Now, we've talked a lot in my videos about the importance of having tools. So your tools are those practices that help you move energy. So examples of tools are things like shadow work, grounding, integration, being able to break energetic contracts that don't serve you, being able to clear limiting beliefs, negative memories. These are all the things that we talk about in the spiritual community. All the things that we know that we need to do, releasing all of our resistance. Our tools are how we actually do it. It's how we put all those things that we learn about in our spiritual journey into practice. Our tools are what help us actually accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. They are the how. Most of us in the spiritual community, we know the theory, we know what we need to do. We get the general concept of where we're headed, but what helps us actually make the changes we want to make is having the right tools. A tool is just a process, a technique, something that you do, often in meditation, to help you move energy. As the P's like to say, if you're not moving energy, nothing is happening. So a lot of us get tripped up because first off, we may not have appropriate tools, right? We know the theory, we watch all the videos, but no one has ever really taught us how to do all these things. So tools are very, very important. But something else that is a bit of a blind spot in the spiritual community is we don't talk a lot about levels of energy. Because when we start out on our spiritual journey, we tend to be working on what we call individual level energies. All that stuff that happened to us in this lifetime. All of our beliefs from this lifetime. Processing all those traumas from this lifetime. But as with anything, we move through that layer of energy and we move on to working on bigger energies, especially if you are a starseed. And if you are a starseed, someone with a lot of galactic energy, you came here to work on bigger energies. And so most of us, we move through the individual layer of energy fairly quickly. But most of us don't realize that we need to move into bigger tools. So it's very important that our tools keep up with our spiritual development. Our tools have to match our level of consciousness. So we can't use the same tool indefinitely. And this is where a lot of lightworkers and starseeds get stuck. They're taught one tool from a teacher or a coach or videos that they were watching, and they try to use it forever. And then they realize inevitably it stops working. It may work for a little while and be great, but then they realize it's not working anymore. So what is happening is we're outgrowing our energy tools. And we're starting to, especially as starseeds, work on bigger and bigger energies. Most starseeds, we're not here to work on individual level energies. We're here to work on global energies, planetary energies, galactic energies. So most of the tools that are available to us in the spiritual community aren't designed to work on this level of energy. This is one of the reasons why starseeds tend to struggle in finding tools that work for them, because they do some of the typical tools, which works for them for a while, but most starseeds find they move very quickly through those initial layers of energy. Because that's not what they're here to work on. If you are a starseed, you are probably here to work on collective level energies. But unfortunately, about 95% of the tools in the spiritual community were not designed to work on the energies we are working on. We need bigger tools. So one of the things that the Pleiadians have noticed is causing a lot of lightworkers and starseeds to kind of stall out on their spiritual development is that they outgrow their tools. So if you have found that you were taught a couple really solid tools, used them for a while, had great result with them, but then you notice they seem to stop working, what may have happened is you have outgrown your tool. And so an equivalent of this, just to help you kind of land it in your reality, is you can think of most of the tools that we have in the spiritual community as being those 2 or 3 pound dumbbells. Maybe you're starting to go back to the gym after a long time and you're starting to lift weights again, but you've got to start with the tiniest weights out there. You have to build your strength. But if you've ever started a workout regimen, you know after a couple weeks, you've kind of maxed out the 2 or 3 pound weights. They're not doing anything for you anymore. This is where most of us find ourselves with our spiritual tools. We're using tools designed for individual level energies. But most starseeds aren't working on individual level energies. We are working on massive energies. And the typical tools in the spiritual community don't budge these energies. We have to have special tools to move planetary energies. It requires specialized training. So one of the reasons why so many lightworkers and starseeds feel like they get a little stalled out with their progress, that things just don't work for them very long, that something started out being great, but then it didn't last for very long. What happens is starseeds are moving through those initial energy levels very quickly. You knock that out, you clear that energy, and you're on to the next layer of the onion, which means we need bigger tools. So if you are doing what you think of as a lot of spiritual work on yourself and feel like you're not seeing the results that you would expect, you still have those same issues you're struggling with, you still deal with those same limiting beliefs, haven't been able to shift them, what the P's wanted to suggest is that we double check our tools. Are we using tools that are appropriate for our level of consciousness? We can't use the 2 pound weights forever. We use those up and we need more. And so this is something that the P's are seeing that a lot of starseeds are starting to bump up against. They've outgrown the tools they were taught and they need bigger tools. But very few people in the spiritual community are even aware of the levels of energy that we move through as starseeds and the tools that we need to match our progress. So this is something that the P's have been talking about a lot and that they teach in their classes is the tools for starseeds to move these massive energies. Because if we're using the wrong tool for where we are on our spiritual path, nothing's going to happen. We're just wasting our time. So very important if you feel like you are someone who's been doing a lot of work on yourself and not seeing a lot of results, to make sure that your tools are matching the energy you are working on. And no one is talking about this in the spiritual community. So very important that our tools grow with us. We can't use the 2 pound weights forever. So that is what the P's wanted to chat with us about in today's POV. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the like button if you haven't done that yet. And as always, if you need help with this, if you are looking to upgrade your skill set, hit the link in the description to work with me one-on-one. I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.